As you can see, there is a massive pile of scraps right behind me, kind of like this one, and we're going to take these scraps
and turn them into gold. Project 1 is very easy to do. You need a pencil and a jigsaw. A bandsaw would probably work better, but I threw mine out. And on the surface, it seems silly to draw pumpkins and cut them out and call that a project. And for this project, you could stain and finish that. Or a better idea, market it as an experience. Memories to be made with kids. Personally, I don't like pumpkin carving. It's messy, it's smelly, someone always gets hurt. Painting pumpkins with kids? Maybe not much cleaner, but it's going to last forever. As I cut these out, the last small project video I said if we get 150 likes, I'll do 4 projects on the next one. So you're getting 4 projects. We destroyed the last goal with 198 likes at the time of editing. So let's try for 250 on this video, and the next one will also have 4. So real quick, subscribe and slap the like button.
Now we're on to project 2, which was going to be this modern towel holder, but we are not going to be talking about that.
Stop it. Get some help.
Instead, we are going to be building a shoe shelf. You can buy a set of these, 2 of them, for about $50 to $60, and they cost much less than that to make. I could use about 10 of them in my house, so without further ado, let's find out what we need and get it going. I'm going to need a 30-inch 1x6, and I see one right here. So as I was saying, I need a piece that's 31 inches long, and this is 32 inches long. This could not get any perfect. I'm not even going to bother cutting this. I'm going to rip it first.
I set my table saw to 1.5 inches. I confirm the measurement, and then I rip away. Next, I measure up to 20 inches on the small piece and also the wider piece. And then I go to the miter saw and I cut them both. And on the remaining wide piece, I measure to 5 inches from both directions, and then I cut those on the miter saw as well. So now we're going to do some trickier measuring, but not very. I'm taking this and I'm lining it up right along the back side here. And I'm going to take this and draw a line. Then I'm going to take my board and go like this, lining it up along the back side, and draw another line. My brain was not comprehending what I was supposed to do. So this is much easier than what I just did. Anyways, we're going to remove all this material. If you have a bandsaw, that's the better way to do it. I'm going to use cut it a little bit more safely, potentially avoid that again. I really need dog holes. Okay, so now these boards need some pocket holes on them so that we can put this thing together finally. You can use your pocket hole jigs that you have. I will be using
my new toy, the Craig Rebel. Not sponsored, but I'd love it. It's fun.
Using double-sided tape and some scraps, I make a quick guide for routing out some keyhole grooves. And then I repeat that on the other side.
And that's another perfect keyhole slot. It's so good. One thing to note is on your back, make sure your keyholes are going up. Just go like that. Make sure you do that. So it's gonna go like this.
Using clamps to assist in assembly is a good idea that I almost never do. However, this assembly process is pretty straightforward. Make sure everything is straight and screw your screws. I was a little worried I wouldn't be able to reach the smaller pieces, but it worked out fine. And now to quickly test it out, it seems to work, but perhaps there's an opportunity for different sizes of these to support smaller shoes, like child shoes, the problem I'm having. So I suppose the last thing to do is to throw some stain on it and then stare at it.
All right, there you have it. Our second project is stained. Remember, if this video gets 200 likes, the next video will also have 4 small projects, maybe like this one, maybe slightly different. All right, we're going on to project number 3. We're sticking with the theme of hanging articles of clothing off of walls. I'm talking about a hat shelf, but you don't have to hang hats on this. You can hang hats, bats. Okay, don't hang your cats. Don't do that. But your cat can sit on the shelf. That's okay. We don't do that here. This can be easily made out of a 8-foot 1x4, but we don't have 8-foot 1x4s. We have 8-foot 1x6s, but we're not using that. We're not. We're using these piles of scraps, and I've already cobbled together the material that I need. We need a 21-inch piece and another 21-inch piece. Now off of this piece, I'm also going to measure the opposite direction. I'm going to measure a 8-inch piece. Let's do 9 inches. We're going to do a 9-inch piece here. We're going to change up the plan, make it a little bit wider. That's okay. Now on this piece, we're going to measure 8.5 inches. 8.5 inches on this piece. All right, erase this guy. This one will be 10 inches, which is nice and easy.
That got confusing. The measurements are on screen. Same double-sided tape setup to route out more keyhole grooves.
All right, similarly to last time, we're going to be doing some pocket holes. One thing I learned, a little tip with this thing, when you turn it on, don't just like run it straight in. Always let it spin up first.
On the 10-inch piece, I will pre-drill 4 holes to attach it to the top later on. And then on one of the long boards, I measure up 1.5 inches on both sides, and then I connect a line between them.
We're going to start marking X's on here. We're going to do one at 1.5 inches. The next will be at 5.5 inches. The next will be at 9.5 inches. The next one after will be 13.5 inches. And then 17.5 inches. Essentially just adding 4 inches
from your starting mark if you're making this different from myself. Now I'm going to take my square here and I'm going to mark a 45-degree line this way from the center of two of my boards. Take this one, put it directly on top, somewhere along the line over here. I'm going to sink it. And the reason why I'm doing that is that will hold these two boards together. So we're going to be drilling some holes. And this way I can drill both of them at the exact same time. And then we drill 1.5-inch wide holes on each of those X's we marked. So now we're in measuring land. My angle is bad, so diagram. Use your square, line it up with the edge of the hole, make a mark. Move to the other side, make a mark. For added aesthetics, move it back about 1/4 inch and then make your mark, and remove all that material in the middle. After you're done cutting it out, give it a sanding and a smooth 1/8 round over if you're able to. I also cut off an extra chunk on the bottom just for more angles afterwards. For assembly, I attached the top shelf first, and then I started attaching the support boards. There we have it. So this one's done. All we need to do is throw some stain on it. It has the ability to be a shelf on top. Throw your keys, headphones, whatever on top. But then you also have spots for all your hats. I don't have any hats, so let's just pretend this is a hat. See? Works perfect for hats. Yeah. Works perfectly. All right, we'll get some stain thrown on this, and then we'll stare at it. Project number 3, done and dusted, complete. Let's add it to the pile. All right, so project number 4 is going to be built using 2x2 stock, and I don't have any 2x2 stock, well, not enough. So I'm going to use this 2x6 piece, and this one piece will be more than enough to accomplish our goals. I'm going to start off by ripping it on the table saw into some 1.5-inch by 1.5-inch strips. All right, for our measurements, we need 3 10-inch pieces. So we'll mark, we're at 10 inches. And we need 3 7-inch pieces. So we'll mark this right at 7 inches. And I only need to mark 1 because I'm going to cut all 3 at the same time. We're going to measure this way and make 1 mark at 6.5 inches.
And then after we have that line, and we're happy with how square it is, we're going to take our pieces, line it up straight, and make a mark on the opposite side. And now we're going to be going over to the table saw for the rest of this. You could use a miter saw if your miter saw has a locking depth gauge. Mine does, I just don't trust it. And you could cut the angles on this at 30 degrees with your miter saw as well, but I also just don't trust it. For this part, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch setup block and just bring this down until it's level. Next, we're going to set our miter gauge to 30 degrees. Tighten down, lock.
Now choose how big you want that inner triangle to be. It won't affect the overall size, but it will give a bigger platform for the plant to stand on, depending on the option that you choose. I went for the middle, around 2.5 inches. And then I marked that center on each of those, and I pre-drill a hole in the side. Then I pre-drill a hole on the back of each of those grooves that we cut out of the legs. For assembling, I put together the platform first. What's nice, if you don't hit the line on the first one, the other two will follow whatever the new mark is. Angles are pretty nice. After that, get them in the legs and attach those as well. Stare at it for a little bit, and then stain it, I guess.
There's so many things you can do to this to make it higher end. Build it out of hardwood, that's a start. Give tapers to the legs and such. Thinner material always makes things look more premium for some reason. But that's all I have for you guys now. So I will see you guys in the next one.